welcome back to another reading with Morgan. Today I'm going to be reading Rapunzel from the Tall Book of Fairy Tales, written by or retold by Eleanor Graham Vance and pictured by William Sharp. But first, I'm going to read from the Prayers for Children. This one is, I thank thee, Lord. I thank thee, Lord, for a quiet rest, and for thy care of me. O let me through this day be blessed, and keep from harm by thee. So with that, let's get into the story. If there is a picture, I will show you. Here's the beginning picture. There were once a man and wife who had long wished for a child, and at last they hoped that they might have one. Now they live in a house with a little black window high up that overlooked a beautiful garden full of the finest vegetables and flowers. There was a high wall around the garden, and no one dared enter because it belonged to a powerful witch. One day, the woman standing at her window looking into this garden, saw a bed of fresh green rampion growing. She longed to eat some of it, and because she could not have it, the longing grew until she thought she would pine away and die. Her husband, who loved her deeply, thought, I must get my wife some of this rampion, cost what it may. And rampion, if you do not know, it's like the leaves look like spinach, and the flower actually looks like the flower from Tangled that the queen had to put into the water and drink to get better from her illness. So, in the twilight, he climbed over the wall, hastily picking a handful of rampion, and took it back to his wife. She made a crisp salad of it, which was so delicious that she soon wanted more, and would give her husband no peace. So, in the next day's twilight, he set out again. But when he got over the wall, he was terrified to see the witch before him. That's Rapunzel with her long braids. And I decided to do little pigtails for the story as well. And dress. Oh, yeah. And she has the little pink outfit on. So I put on a little pink outfit. How dare you steal my rampion, she cried angrily. The husband explained his wife's longing for the rampion, and that she would die without it. Very well, the witch said the witch. You may have all you want on one condition. You must give your first child to me. I shall treat it like a mother. In his great fear, the man agreed. Soon a beautiful little baby daughter was born to his wife. The witch appeared, gave it the name Rapunzel, which means rampion, and took it away with her, while the baby's mother and father wept bitterly. Rapunzel was the most beautiful child under the sun. When she was 12 years old, the witch shut her up alone in a far-off tower in the woods. The tower had no doors or staircase, and only one small window high up in the wall. When the witch wanted to be let in, she would stand below and call, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Rapunzel had beautiful long braids of hair, like spun gold. Whenever she heard the witch's voice, she would loosen the braids around her head and let them fall down. Then the witch climbed up this ladder of gold. Rapunzel lived in the lonely tower several years. One day, the king's son rode through the forest, close to the tower. He heard a voice so lovely that he stopped to listen. It was Rapunzel, singing in her loneliness. The prince looked for a door into the tower, but he could find none. So he rode on home. But the song had touched his heart, and each day he rode back to hear it again. One day, as he stood hidden behind a tree, he saw the witch come to the tower and call, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Then Rapunzel loosened her long golden braids, and the witch climbed up to her. "I shall climb this ladder too, and try my luck," thought the prince. So the next day, when dusk fell, he went to the tower and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." She let down her hair, and the prince climbed up it. At first, Rapunzel was terrified, for she had never seen a man before. But the king's son talked so gently to her that Rapunzel lost her fear. When he asked if she would have him for her husband, she saw how young and handsome he was. She said yes, and put her hand in his. "I would gladly go with you," she said, "but I cannot leave this lonely tower. Bring me a skein of silk each time you come, and I shall make myself a ladder to climb down. And when it is done, we shall ride away together on your horse." They agreed that he should come to see her each evening, since the witch came in the daytime. The witch suspected nothing until one day Rapunzel said, absent-mindedly, "Mother Witch, why does it take you so long to climb up when the prince does it in a moment?" "Oh, wicked girl," screamed the witch, "you have deceived me." In her rage, she snatched up a pair of shears, and she twisted Rapunzel's golden braids around her hand. Then snip, snap, snip, Rapunzel's beautiful hair lay on the ground. Rapunzel's beautiful hair lay on the ground. Then she whisked Rapunzel away into the midst of a desert, where the poor girl was left in the greatest misery. The same day in the evening, the witch went back to the tower and fastened Rapunzel's braids to the window sill. When the prince came and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair," the witch let the braids fall, and the prince climbed up. But there he found not his dearest Rapunzel, but the witch looking at him with glittering evil eyes. "Ah!" she cried mockingly, "your pretty bird is no longer in the nest. Rapunzel is lost to you. You will see her no more." The king's son was beside himself with grief, and in despair he jumped out of the window. He was not killed, but the thorns scratched his eyes so cruelly that he could not see. He wandered blindly through the woods, eating nothing but nuts and berries, and lamenting the loss of his dear bride. After some years, he came to the desert place where Rapunzel had been living. There, he heard her sweet voice singing its sad song. He went towards it, and Rapunzel knew him at once and flung herself upon him, weeping. When her tears touched his eyes, they became clear again, and he could see as well as ever. Then he took her home to his kingdom, where they were received with great joy, and there they lived together long and happily. So that was the end of Rapunzel, and this was the picture on the page of this. Well, I'll see you in the next story.